you so much for joining me on my program once again. I appreciate you wherever you're joining me from. I say good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Accept my greeting according to your time zone. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please kindly subscribe to my channel. Click the notification bell so that you'll be notified each time I upload a video. You can be among the first to receive it. Then go to the comment section at all time. Leave your comment, drop your contribution. If you have suggestions, make it out there. If you have any criticism, put it down on the comment section. It will make us to get better, presenting you a better program.
Today, as the 16th president of Nigeria, the official ceremony at Eagle Square in Abuja will happen amidst tight security. In attendance will be a presidential delegation from the U.S. led by U.S. Secretary of Housing and Urban Development Matthew Fuge. South Africa's President Cyril Ramaphosa has arrived in Abuja for the inauguration of President-elect Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He joins other heads of states and government from around the world, including Rwandan President Paul Kagame, who will be attending the event marking the 7th consecutive democratic transition in Nigeria's history. Meanwhile, President Muhammadu Buhari has apologized to Nigerians for what he calls temporary pains and suffering caused by some of his government policies. In a farewell speech, Buhari said he made some difficult choices during his time in office, but as most of them yielded desired results. He, however, maintains that he was leaving the country better than he met it. He touts progress in the administration made in infrastructural development and food security.
To ensure that our democracy remains resilient and our elected representatives remain accountable to the people, I am leaving behind an electoral process which guarantees that votes count, results are credible, elections are fair and transparent, and the influence of money in politics reduced to the barest minimum, and Nigerians can elect leaders of their choice. We are already seeing the outcome of this process, as it provided an even playing field where persons without any political godfather or access to money defeated other well-resourced candidates. The Nigerian economy has become more resilient due to the various strategies put in place to ensure that our economy remain afloat during cases of global economic downturns. Our administration also provided an enabling environment for the private sector to engage in businesses for which their return on investment is guaranteed. The private sector proved a strong partner in our drive to build a resilient and sustainable economy, as evidenced by the growing number of turnkey projects in various sectors of the economy. In the course of revamping the economy, we made some difficult choices, most of which yielded the desired results. Some of the measures led to temporary pain and suffering, for which I sincerely apologize to my fellow countrymen, but the measures were taken for the overall good of the country.
Right, let's talk about Ayo. Good to see you. Happy inauguration.
Yes, May 29, 2023. It's Inauguration Day, Nigeria. And in the spirit of all things Nigerian, I'd have to say Happy Inauguration Day, because we have a happy day for everything in terms of our celebrations. But you can see the footage just behind us as guests have already started to arrive at Eagle Square in the center of Abuja to witness the oath taking of both the Vice President-elect and the President-elect. Of course, all eyes will be on the President-elect, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, whom in a very few hours will become known as President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I'd like to center on the oath of office being taken on today. I know thousands, if not millions of people will be watching this ceremony across the world. And as you've already said, Rufai, a number of world leaders are present already in Nigeria to witness this epoch-making, history-making event. There's some celebrations and things that we must count as blessings as a nation, which is that we have had successive democratically elected government since 1999, since the return to democracy in 1999. That's a win for Nigeria. That's a win for Nigerians. In furtherance of that, this was a tightly contested election that has made us arrive today at the inauguration. Congratulations, Nigerians, to everyone who came out to vote, who came out to exercise their franchise. Now, on to the oath of office, and this is what I'd like to appeal to our president-elect to take note of. Each president, whether new or returning, will take an oath of office for the new term, the next 4 years. And they make solemn promises to Nigeria and Nigerians, swearing depending on their faith, either the Quran, the Bible, or what it is that they believe in. They say that they solemnly swear and pledge their true allegiance to the Federal Republic of Nigeria. They will say in a few hours, or he will say in a few hours, that he will discharge his duties to the best of his ability. He will actually swear that he will always have the interest of the sovereignty, integrity, solidarity, well-being and prosperity of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The president-elect will strive to preserve the fundamental objectives and direct principles of the nation. He will also promise Nigerians, witnessed by all, that he will not allow his personal interest to influence his official conduct or his official decisions. He will say that he will serve Nigeria with the best of his ability. He will protect and defend the Constitution. These are words that he will have to repeat when the chief judge of the nation swears him in this morning. Between 10 a.m. and 12 noon, this will happen. And what we are hoping is that our president-elect will not just speak these words or repeat these words as mere rhetoric, but actually allow the essence of the solemn promise that he makes to Nigeria and Nigerians this morning to hold sway and guide his work in the next 4 years. For many of us, this is an emotional and hopeful morning. Hope for a new government, hope for a better Nigeria, hope for the progress that he has promised, a progressive Nigeria in the next few years. Alongside his team, we're expectant, and Nigerians will hold him to account to ensure that we have the best years so far in our democracy with President Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu at the helm of affairs. We're looking forward to this, and in the next few hours, we're going to be taking you through some of his key policies, looking at what we're looking forward to in terms of the economy, in terms of what is promised in other areas like education, health. Eyes on him. He has promised. We're going to dissect his manifesto. We're going to hold him to account for every promise he's made to Nigerians. But at the end of the day, this is what we are praying for, that he will have an excellent tenure, that God will be with him, and that he will have the best interest of Nigerians at heart, and he will leave Nigeria better than he met it.
Well, I mean, this is the climax of the 2023 electoral process in Nigeria. It's Nigeria's seventh transition event since the return to civilian rule in 1999. And, you know, the president-elect who will be sworn in today will be the 16th president of Nigeria. I say it's the culmination of a process. Yes, the process will include the general elections of February 25, during which Asiwaju Ahmed Bola Tinubu was declared winner with about 8.7 million of the votes, about 36% of the general votes cast, followed by the candidate of the People's Democratic Party, who was, who won 6.9 million votes, and then third, the candidate of the Labour Party, Mr. P2B, who was declared declared as having got about 6.1 million votes, about 25% of total votes cast. In that presidential election, voter turnout was just a little over 26% in terms of turnout. But that's the nature of democracy. So today, we have in the Federal Capital Territory the swearing in of the president-elect and the vice president-elect. In 28 states, we'll also be having people being sworn in, at the state level as governors. Yes, it is true. All of them being sworn in today will take oaths. 2 oaths are specified in the 7th schedule of the 1999 Constitution. First, the oath of allegiance. The oath of allegiance simply says you will defend the Constitution. So what it means is that a man cannot be president or you are governor and then you violate the Constitution of Nigeria. All the expectations are spelled out in the Constitution, because in the preamble to that Constitution, it says, we the people. The Constitution, the basic law, the ground norm, is about the rights of the people, the rule of law. And we hope that the basic starting point for any government will be to respect the rule of law. The second one is the oath of office that will also be administered, as we will see in a short while. Well, this is also in terms of the program enunciated by the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, a week-long program of activities, including, the giving out of national honors by the president, outgoing president, the president, being pulled out ceremonially, church service, where Ahmed Bola Tinubu was represented by his wife, Senator Remi Tinubu, at the international service yesterday, where she said that Nigeria's wealth is safe, with the incoming president, because he's not going there to look for wealth, and he will not tamper with our commonwealth. He will go there and serve Nigerians. The president-elect himself has made promises that he will fulfill our expectations, and that he's bringing in an administration that is truly about renewed hope. And Nigerians, of course, have very high expectations, and they are looking forward to that. President Muhammadu Buhari himself, in a speech, over the weekend, in the morning of Saturday, thanked Nigerians, apologized to Nigerians, thanked the political leaders who have chosen to go to court to respect the outcome of the court process, and he congratulated Bola Ahmed Tinubu, telling us that in fact he was the best candidate among all the candidates, and that Nigerians have chosen well. That's in paragraph 13 of that statement, 7 a.m. statement. And then he went ahead, of course, to list the achievements of his administration, including COVID-19 management, infrastructure development, Petroleum Industry Act, reduced banditry, terrorism, and kidnapping, as he called it, battle against corruption, reforms that the Buhari administration has introduced, according to him. Well, opinion is still in the air. Eventually, Nigerians have different perspectives with regard to the performance of the administration. But this morning, we all look forward to the future. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, his campaign slogan was, Emilokan, it is my turn. So Bola Ahmed Tinubu, it is now his turn. What he does with that turn will be something that all of us will see and that we will experience. But he has a duty, as the oath of allegiance puts it, to defend the Constitution of Nigeria. And all the details are spelled out in that basic document.
Right, another great day for Nigeria, Inauguration Day, Nigeria. It speaks volumes about our democracy. The essence of every democracy is the peaceful transfer of power. But the question is, how did we get here? We got here in 1900, when a company that had the charter on areas that are known to be Nigeria today got the charter over to the British government, and the British came in and conquered most territories in the south, because they met us fighting when they came. And after conquering the warring Yoruba states in the south and most other parts of the south, they had the first amalgamation, which we do not talk about, in 1906. And afterwards they brought in Lugard, because of what Lugard had done in other parts of Africa where the British led their conquests. And when they conquered the north, they had the second amalgamation in 1914. And we had a country cobbled together with different interests. But people from different parts of the country understood the essence of the union, and the first enemy was colonialism. And we fought colonialism so well, we came together, despite the fact that we understood our differences. Finally, in the late 40s, after incidents like the Ivor Valley Massacre, leading up to the 50s, it was a time to call colonialism quits in Nigeria. It was the beginning of the end of colonialism. Then we further went to Lancaster House to talk about how we will come together as a nation. There's something called the Lancaster House Talks that preceded our independence in 1960. But 6 years after, we asked questions again about our unity. Led to coup, led to wars, but we resolved that we're going to come together and try to heal our wounds. No victor, no vanquish. And there can't be healing without justice. Then we went further. The military interregnum, return to democracy in 1980. Again, it was scuttled in the early 80s, 83. Returned back to military rule. We saw a ray of hope in 1993. Was scuttled again, but finally in 1999 we had a chance. And we have been on this path of democracy. That will teach you that we've constantly gone through our ups and downs. And as we begin another new administration, it will be pertinent to say that Nigeria will have its challenges. But how do we solve the challenges we have? And how would our leaders have the grace to be able to bring people together? This is another time for Nigeria, a grand leap for Nigeria, as another inauguration day comes, filled with hope and possibility. Some say renewed hope for the future, because it's been another bleak time for us. But how we are going to come together will determine how we'll navigate through this era. But coming together is dependent on the resolution of the leadership to respect differing opinions. Coming together and renewed hope is dependent on the capacity to be able to embrace people. Coming together is dependent on the capacity to think about the nation, not personal interests. Coming together is dependent on the capacity to use the state to better the lot of Nigerians, not to enrich yourself and your cronies. Renewed hope will come to Nigeria when we understand that it is Nigerians that truly hold that hope and not the leadership. A country is only as strong as its people. And that's why political leaders across board must understand the role the people play in the outlook on democracy of every country. The reason why we've had a topsy-turvy affair all this while is that we relegate the most important part of our democracy, which is the people. In the next 4 years of this administration, the most important office in this country will be the office of the citizen of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. It will be about your hopes and aspirations for the country, in tandem with the office of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. What should you do as a citizen? Offer praise where praise is necessary. Also offer criticism in measure where criticism is necessary.